U.S. billion-dollar aircraft carrier is finally ready for action. The credible shield for Taiwan is being prepared by the third-generation aircraft carrier Gerald R. Ford America. The cost of this aircraft carrier is the highest. According to the U.S. Navy, it would have cost $13.3 billion after 14 years of design and construction by the end of 2021. That is roughly twice as expensive as the last aircraft carrier in the Nimitz series. And how harshly it has been criticized. It was referred to as a headache for the Pentagon and needless financial waste. Many military analysts concurred that an aircraft carrier of this cost and complexity was just not necessary for the American Navy. But now, China and the U.S. are at war over Taiwan. The need for such a highly complex strategic naval weapon shortly seems almost predetermined, but this is actually not the case. Otherwise, how do you propose dealing with the most sophisticated Chinese army, which is equipped with fifth-generation fighters and a large number of modern vessels, more than 7,000 miles off the coast of the U.S.? Meet the third-generation ultra-modern aircraft carrier Gerald R. Ford, serial number CVN-78, the largest warship in the world. The massive vessel, which can carry more than 100,000 tons, was delayed in construction by almost 2 years because it was so extravagantly expensive and loaded with cutting-edge technology. In the middle of the 1990s, work on the U.S. Navy's most powerful aircraft carrier began. In 2005, the new ship's hull was laid. It was intended to take the place of the USS Enterprise, the country's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, which had been in use since the early 1960s. Initial specifications for the third-generation aircraft carrier were unique. It was required to have a more potent nuclear power plant than its forerunners, transport more aircraft, and be more resilient. The designers decided against applying stealth technology to make it a stealth chip. It was too costly and intricate. In contrast to the Nimitz, the Ford was less obvious thanks to the designers. Additionally, the designers intended to lower the cost of maintaining the monster by using cutting-edge machinery and algorithms. Numerous operations may have been automated, greatly reducing the worker size. More than 4.5 thousand personnel are in charge of overseeing and maintaining the aircraft carrier. Hence, this goal was only partially met. This number exceeds 5,270 people on aircraft carriers of the Nimitz type. The new aircraft carrier looks similar to previous generation aircraft carriers from the outside. It was chosen to keep the hull from the beloved Nimitz and just slightly improve it for the sake of maintaining the same low visibility to save money. The bridge was relocated to the lower deck, while the deck house was moved closer to the stern to make the superstructure smaller. The superstructure was positioned over the sideline, and the cabins and some lodging units were pushed into the hull. This 1,106-foot long, 256-foot wide, and 134-foot high sea monster is not invisible as a result of all these tricks, but on cruise missile radar, it cannot be distinguished from other members of the carrier strike group. What must be struck? You won't load the plane with kamikazes. The ship is old, but it boasts 2 brand new A-1B nuclear reactors, which generate only 1/4 as much electricity as those on earlier generations of ships. The reactors won't need to be refueled during their 50-year operating life because of their design. A 100,000-ton ship could be propelled by them at a speed of 30 knots or 34.5 miles per hour. Torpedo boats from the Second World War were capable of traveling at that speed when in attack mode. A total of 90 aircraft, helicopters, and drones can board Gerald R. Ford. In addition to new strike drones, there are F-35C fighter bombers, FA-18EF Super Hornet attack aircraft, E-2D Advanced Hawkeye AWACS aircraft, and MH-60RS multi-role helicopters. Note the amount of aircraft. If at least half of them are F-35Cs, that means that Taiwan will receive more fifth-generation fighters on one aircraft carrier than China does overall. But the Chinese will also have to deal with other problems. As is common knowledge, an aircraft carrier's performance determines the number of aircraft departures per unit of time, making it the most significant feature of an aircraft carrier. For takeoff, an aircraft carrier uses a catapult, and for landing, it uses an acro finisher. Instead of the traditional steam catapult, Ford's designers used an electromagnetic catapult for the first time. They succeeded in 160 sorties every day as a result. Additionally, 220 sorties might be made if it came to that. The difference between the Nimitz's 120 sorties and the extra 100 contemporary fighters is significant. In addition, the new aircraft carrier has a takeoff and landing technology that is twice as light as the pair. It's quite a feat when you realize that the catapults on aircraft carriers make up 20% of the entire bulk. Without including the escort ships, the floating airfield self-defense system is equipped with RIM-116 and RIM-162 surface-to-air missile launchers, which have a range of 10 and 50 kilometers respectively. The ship's air defense system is completed by a dual-band DBR radar system. We won't bore you with the technical details, but we will mention that the DDG-1000 Zumwalt New Generation destroyer, another marvel of the American Navy, is equipped with such technology. However, problems are unavoidable when one wishes to manufacture 100,000 tons of the newest technology all at once. The new ship's problems were immediately noticeable after it was launched. Experts discovered several significant issues with the systems that guarantee takeoff and landing. First, the test results revealed that the electromagnetic air finishers performed poorly. The ship's designers stated it could accommodate 1,600 aircraft without experiencing any problems, but in reality, only 25 were able to board. Additionally, instead of the advertised 4,000 takeoffs, the electromagnetic catapult only offered 400. The propeller shaft bearings immediately failed when sea trials started. The ship was brought back to port, and it took some time to fix the problem. 11 new electromagnetic hoists for loading ammunition onto the flight deck were installed on the ship in December 2018 and failed. But engineers persisted in making the necessary repairs piece by piece. In June of 2021, all systems on the aircraft carrier, including the onboard computers and nuclear reactor, underwent a thorough dependability test. Following severe concussions before the test, specific test equipment was mounted on the ship. The crew of the aircraft carrier was also put to the test in terms of their capacity to repair any potentially significant damage. On June 18th, just off the coast of Florida, there was the first underwater test explosion. The cause and concussion both registered a 3.9 on the Richter scale. The ship successfully completed the test. The Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier will reportedly begin combat flights this year. The United States intends to construct 10 floating airfields complete with all amenities. The old Nimitz-class aircraft carriers will be replaced by them. John F. Kennedy, the following aircraft carrier in the line, will go into service in 2024. No other nation, not even its primary geostrategic competitors China and Russia, has or will have anything comparable to the Gerald R. Ford as of yet. 10th is as far back as 2058. Therefore, the U.S. will be able to adequately respond to any action by a powerful authoritarian in China against little democratic Taiwan.